Good evening and welcome to high school girls volleyball on Aycorp Sports. Tonight we're coming to you from the campus of Advance High School in the Hornets Nest. And we're thrilled to be, I'm thrilled to be alongside my broadcast partner, Coach Gentry Vansel, bringing you this match between the Advance Hornets and the Gideon Bulldogs. It's a two Class 1 powers, and we're thrilled to be able to bring you the action tonight.
Good evening, Philip, and thank you. This is always exciting matchup here, whether it is in the Hornets Nest or it's in Bulldog Country.
Right.
There hasn't been a Class 1 state championship game without one of these two teams since 2017. Now, you did not hear me stutter. That was 2017. That has been 8 years now.
Yep.
Advance is a two-time defending state champions. Gideon knocked off Advance on the way to the state Final Four in 21 as they took second place in Class 1. Advance had won the previous 3 state championships, and like we said, they're the returning state champs, and they look pretty impressive right now, just warming up.
They do. They, right now they're 8-3-2 on the season. Those 3 losses coming to Saxony Lutheran, Winona, and St. Vincent in the Dig for Life tournament. Saxony Lutheran early in the season, 3-1. Gideon, on the other hand, is 9-3. We had one of their losses. That was at Clarkton early in the season. We had that, but that was just their second game of the season. And then they had 2 losses in the Dig for Life tournament, both to Lesterville. They lost to Lesterville twice in that tournament, once in pool play and then once in the bracket play. So both these teams, they know each other. They play each other. We've had them, their regular season game, each of the last 3 seasons because we felt like it was going to be a good matchup, and it was. It has been. Every opportunity we get to show these 2 teams playing against each other, we try to do so.
Gideon has brought a decent crowd of parents, not as much as you see when we go to Gideon and there's that fan section.
Or when they're at Clarkton.
That's true.
It is a little bit of a drive up here.
It is a drive. We do have advanced students down here on the right-hand side, and I'm pretty sure they're going to bring some fun for us as well.
Absolutely.
Some interesting things going on. Winona, they are still a Class 1 school, and they will be coming down to Bulldog Country for the Gideon Classic this weekend.
So we'll be able to see, compared to, they've already played Advance, and so we'll be able to see how they compare to other schools in the area.
That's right.
Well, the Gideon Bulldogs have won two sets already tonight. Their JV won both sets. And so they won actually pretty handily in set number 1, and then set number 2 was a little closer, but it was certainly not close. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back for the starting lineups.
At Young Real Estate, we understand the importance of face-to-face interactions. Our experienced agents are here to listen to your needs and personalize your home buying or selling experience. But we also recognize the power of technology. Young Real Estate offers virtual showings, allowing you to explore properties from the comfort of your own home. Young Real Estate, where technology meets a personal touch. Your dreams, our expertise. Contact us today, and let's make your dream home a reality.
SEMO Health Network, we strive to provide caring and affordable health care while making our patients feel welcome in our warm and friendly atmosphere. With locations throughout Southeast Missouri, we provide medical, dental, OB, and behavioral health services to anyone and everyone that may need it. Visit SEMO Health Network for your wellness exams, COVID and flu vaccinations, lab services, dental exams, counseling, and more. For more information, visit our website and let SEMO Health Network take care of you.
Senator Jason Bean is proud to represent Southeast Missouri and the Boot Heel in the Missouri Senate. High school football is a positive avenue for our student athletes to build character, compete, and grow. Senator Jason Bean wishes all our student athletes and coaches a successful season.
Welcome back inside the Hornets' nest, Mildred Wiggins Court. Mildred Wiggins was a coach here for the volleyball team. She was a very successful coach prior to Coach Hoffman. Won a state championship as well. So the court is named after her. Glad to be here in Advance tonight. So here we're going to have our starting lineups for the Bulldogs. Gideon. Number 2, Lexus Fry. She's a senior. Number 4, Michaela Skinner. Also a senior. Haley Skinner will be the libero tonight. Number 6, Kylie Fry. Just keeping it in the family so far. Alyssa Rogers, she's a senior, number 7. Aubrey Sharp, number 8. And then Alexis Mueller, number 12. She's a senior also. And now for the Advance Hornets. Their crowd is up on their feet. Number 2, Catherine Sturgeon. Number 4, Addie Carlton. Addie Carlton's the only senior on this team. She's returning All-State. Libero's number 5, Brogan Hawkins. She's a junior. Number 7, Emma Eilers, another person to watch on this team. She's also returning All-State. Number 12, Kendall Hitt. Number 15, Olivia Kennedy. And then number 24, Bailey Massa. So this team lost a couple of All-State players, but they have 2 back. I mentioned Eilers and Carlton, both solid players. I remember from the games we did last year, Olivia Kennedy was very impressive, especially down the stretch. Her sister was one of the other All-Staters, a senior All-Stater, along with Lexi Hoffman, Coach Hoffman's daughter, who was really the leader of this team last year and their most dominant player for sure.
So the Hornets are led with 2 sophomores playing out of the middle, the 2 tallest girls, and we're going to see this is going to be exciting. It has to be exciting for Coach Hoffman for the next 3 years to have these girls coming in here with some height, especially at some small schools, to have some height that are not as privileged as the larger schools.
That's true, absolutely. So, again, I mentioned there's just 1 senior on this team. And so we've got sophomores and juniors across the board. And only one of those sophomores that actually played on junior varsity in the junior varsity match, that was Mallory Mayberry. She's on the bench for this set to start off.
Gideon comes in here with about an even number. They got a lot of girls that got to play last year out here on this court, and then they have some that were coming up, that have moved up, and I think it's going to be great. It's going to be a great match.
And then you've got a couple of freshmen and sophomores that get quite a bit of playing time on varsity for Gideon as well. They did play with junior varsity, both sets of junior varsity, so they'd be limited in how many they can play here at varsity. Nice tip there by Lexi Fry, but picked up nicely by overpass that time. And Olivia Kennedy was there waiting for it. She was up for the block, but she put it down.
The one thing that we're going to see here tonight is that Advance pulls up a double block. And Gideon is not accustomed to that or maybe is used to that, and we're going to see how Gideon can adjust to it.
And their girls out of the middle are quick. They jump well. I got a chance to watch them in practice earlier. Emma Eilers with that hit into the net. Wasn't a bad set, but just a little bit off from where she thought it was going to be. So that makes it 1-1 now. We got to watch them practice a little bit, run through before, and both of those, their middles were really solid. So it'll be interesting to see. They run a lot of misdirection too. Nice hit that time by Skinner. Oh no, Kylie Fry, I'm sorry.
She got up there and she got that last little nick of that line back there.
Yep,
that was an
absolutely.
awesome hit.
Perfect placement. Aubrey Sharp back to serve for the Bulldogs. Tough pass, a little out of system there, but there's Carlton with the hit. They don't give you a lot of free balls for sure.
They will not.
There's Eilers swinging away. And then a double contact that time on the set for Gideon. So 2-2. And the libero. No, Emma Eilers is back to serve. I'm sorry, I thought the libero was going back to serve.
There's the block we talked about.
Absolutely, they're quick off the floor. Set to the outside. Carlton with the swing, picked up nicely. Gideon trying to hit it over, but hit it into the net instead. That was Kylie Fry again. So Eilers back to serve again. She was close to that line. She's going to have to watch that. Alexis Fry that time with the hit. Picked up nicely. Good defense by Gideon. Gideon's always known for their defense. That was a nice block again. Nice slide move that time with Kendall hit with the set and Olivia Kennedy with the hit.
And that's been the first kill right now at 4-2. That's how these teams, in the mistakes that they've made, have been just net or something simple.
Their defenses are both tough. I mean, they're going to cover the floor well. They're both known for that ability to do that.
And they're both running a 5-1 right now, if I'm not mistaken, with one setter.
Just hit with a tip over again that time. You know, Kendall Hitt has played since she was a freshman as well. She was on that team, the state championship team 2 years ago. And she was actually the setter on that team that won the state championship as a freshman. You know, I was very impressed with her as a freshman that year because, you know, you don't usually have the leader on the team as a freshman. I remember that we were impressed with her that year.
She does very well.
Pass to Alexis Fry. Nice pickup on defense there by Eilers.
Ball was out.
It was out.
She
Good
had
swing.
A good look at line.
It's just a little bit, try to cut it just a little too much. The line judge was not very emphatic about it, but she was calling it out. So she decides to go back cross court, and this time very successfully.
That is one thing I've seen in this whole game so far. Advance does not forearm pass any third hit, and that's big.
Yes, you know, and that's what we've seen from the better teams that we've seen this year. We always see there's always a hit on the third hit, whether you're in position, whether it's whether you're up to hit it, you know, in good position or not. There's always going to be some pace on the ball. And there's Addie Carlton again. There's always some pace on the ball that goes back across the net.
The libero is in now for Advance.
Olivia Kennedy back to serve for the Hornets. And
struggle.
Yep, free ball back over. Let's see what Advance does here. Right back to Carlton. I mean, when your All-State senior is out there swinging away, you just give it back to her.
She has all the kills so far for Advance.
You know, it seems like after she hit that one out, she's been kind of fired up.
I'm sorry. Number 15 had a kill. Kennedy did.
Kennedy, yep. And an ace now.
And an ace.
So a little bit of lack of communication there between the defenders receiving that serve for Gideon.
The last time we had Gideon, we were with Clarkton.
Right.
And they seemed a little tight. They do not tonight. They look very relaxed and very just, swinging, and we're playing some ball.
Yep. Recognizing that when we had them the first time, it was only their second match of the season.
That's right.
And it had been a full week since they played. So they were tight.
Yes.
It was
good block from Gideon right there.
Very good block. Very good block that time. That was Sturgeon's first swing in the front row. Set to the outside again. Good pickup that time by Michaela Skinner. Good defense by Hitt there, making sure that ball didn't just get poached back over. Good pickup by the libero Skinner there. Rogers with the swing, but hit it long. Alyssa Rogers playing well in the front row that trip through that particular series.
And our first long rally.
Yep.
Tonight.
Kennedy with the serve, picked up by the libero Skinner. Outside to Rogers again. She caught that one way back behind her head and was able to direct it where she wanted it to go. And the block wasn't up that time. It was not the same kind of block that we've been seeing from Advance. Nice serve that time by Alexis Fry.
And I look at the score right now, it's 10-5 in favor of Advance. But Advance has had to work for everything. Gideon is not just laying down. This is a better game than what I feel like the score is showing right now.
There was Sturgeon ready for that one when it came over in the middle and did what she's supposed to do as a middle blocker, middle hitter.
2 and 15 both jump well from middle girls.
I agree. They're both solid players in that middle. I tell you, for that was served out of bounds that time.
Yes.
But for a school, Class 1 school, to have two solid middle hitters, middle blockers and middle hitters is exceptional because most of the schools we see have one, maybe.
Yes.
They all have at least one middle, but they're one that's that really plays well and can get up and actually assist in blocks, and they both seem to be pretty smart. She was ready for that one as well.
And we're seeing that more and more. They're starting to look. They're not using that as a birthday ball to swing hard and things like that. They're playing smart. They're getting the point. It doesn't matter if it's a cream of a kill or if it's whatever. We got number 20, a freshman, coming in for Gideon.
So Coach Ashbrenner knows that she needs to bring that freshman in. She's a solid player. That's Layla Watkins. She's a really solid front row player. And that was out. That was a free ball, but it went out. So they've got to, if they're going to hit one back over like that, they've got to make sure it stays in the court.
That's right.
You can't make those kinds of unforced errors against a team the quality of Advance. Overpass, and Sturgeon tried to pass it and hit it over. There's Watkins with the swing. Picked up, hit, almost was able to get it out of the net, but could not recover it.
Just a tight pass.
She was running hard to get there, but that ball didn't come off very far either. So,
if Gideon is going to score, it's right now, and she's in the net.
And she was in the net. Yep. Unfortunately, Kylie Fry with a good swing. That was, we talked about seeing that ball and wanted to just jump up and poach it and pound it down, and she did, but got a little bit of the net with it. Nice serve that time. Oh, big block by Kennedy there. Hawkins, the libero, back to serve again. Good serve, good receive that time. Unfortunately, lack of communication on the front row.
Yeah.
And so the number 12, Alexis Muller back in for Watkins. Nice serve again by Hawkins. Forced hit that time to take the first the serve receive, and they were a little out of sorts.
That's the first time I've seen that just about tonight.
They were a little out of sorts that time and
Were.
weren't moving, weren't communicating very well. So Muller with the serve. Good strong serve. Nice hit there again. It's Addie Carlton, but again, that was not an easy. That was not an easy ball coming back over.
Right. I've also known Gideon has shifted their defense. They have seen and watched that advance. Gideon has done their homework. They're putting her right on line. They know they're going to go line, and so now they're playing they shifted their defense just a little bit, which is very smart.
Right. And that's long. So the serve is long. That was Massa with the serve.
2 missed serves for Advance right now.
So she's coming out, and Josie Bailey back in for the Hornets. Aubrey Sharp back to serve for the Bulldogs. Served it wide.
We have Joseph Bailey in for Bailey Massa.
Yes,
That's
I know. It's very.
I know it.
All right, so Eiler's back to serve for the Hornets. Up 19-9. So the race to 20 appears to be at least in they're in the vicinity right now. So tough pickup there. Not sure if that ball was going to be in or out, but she
thought
felt
about
like it was in,
yeah.
and so she picked it up.
Number 1 is coming in, Emma Johnson, a senior for Gideon, to serve for number 6, Kylie Fry.
Nice pass, picked up nicely there. What a big block that time.
Big. And I'm going to tell you,
Addie Carlton and
Emma Eilers, she was up. Eilers was up too.
Yeah. So Olivia Kennedy back to serve for the Hornets. Tough serve, handled nicely that time. There's Rogers with the swing out of the front row for Gideon. Set to the back row to Kennedy. She didn't quite hit that ball
got her
solid.
fingertips on it. Setter's out now. See what they do.
Good solid swing by Carlton again. She's impressed me on this outside. There's a reason why she's All-State. Little slide that time by Sturgeon. There's Rogers with just the pass over. Long rally again. It's fun to see long rallies. Sometimes it doesn't matter if you have her set played just right, because she's got a powerful swing from the front row.
She does.
She's not super tall, but she gets up well, and she's a powerful hitter. We got a substitution. Addie Carlton is coming out for Ashlyn Tidwell. Give Carlton a bit of a break, get a breather before the end of the set. Nice tip by Hitt there. She thought she had the spot open. Eiler swinging out of the back row. Picked up nicely that time. Rogers with the swing. Didn't get full power on it. Kennedy with a cross court from the back row and in.
And we're going to see that more often. The pass was out of system pass, and it was one of the smarter things to do. And for the setter to get there, and she's calling it. She's ready.
Deep serve that time by Kennedy. Free ball back over Alexis Fry. Back set to Sturgeon, and their timing was a little bit off that time. I'm sure she was expecting it there. Rogers with the tip, found the spot. 22-11. The Hornets up right now with Alexis Fry back to serve for the Bulldogs. Set to Sturgeon, hitting from the outside that time. Ran it down the net a little bit and in. Ava Bowling in for Josie Bailey. Advance making sure they're in the right place in the rotation. I think maybe they have some players in that aren't that may not normally see next to them, and so it's a little bit confusing for them. Good swing that time by Mueller. Ava Bowling left-handed, swinging from the right side, but hit it a little bit wide.
I love seeing your middles play back row defense.
So 23, Mallory Mayberry, I mentioned her earlier, as the sophomore that played junior varsity as well. So she's looks like she's come in and is actually going to set. She came in for hit, so she's going to set.
She did very well in that JV
match,
game.
I think. Yes. Kayla Skinner with the serve. It's 23-14 now.
I'm going to tell you, I like Michaela Skinner. She has taken that. She has been hit as hard as she probably has been hit in a while.
Absolutely.
Playing this defense back here for Gideon, and is still brought back at it every time. I like her.
Yep, she's a tough player for sure. Mueller with the swing, but hit it a little bit long out of the front row that time. So it's set point now for the Hornets. I'm trying to decide who's going to serve. It looks like it's
Coach says just go for it.
Right. Looks like it's Ashton Tidwell. She's going to serve for the Hornets. Gets it in. Set to the outside to Mueller. Picked up by Kennedy. Eilers with the hit back over. That was definitely not.
That was ugly.
She had no approach at all, but unfortunately the rafters came into play there on the final point of set number one. Hornets win at 25-14. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back to discuss set number one and what we can expect from set number two.
Being in there a while ago. It's called being a freshman.
We're back here at the Hornets Nest in Advance. So recapping, the Advance Hornets were able to pull out set number one, 25-14. They really right at the beginning of the set, it was a little tight, but they really pulled out to a pretty sizable lead and then held on to that lead throughout the rest of the set. So, Coach, tell us what you think based upon set number one, what we need to see from these two teams from set number two.
So from Gideon, we need to see them putting the ball away. Every time Gideon is hitting, it needs to be come down. Let's try to find a hole there, whether it is a tip, anything off hit. Gideon only had 3 kills that game. Advance here led with 10, and I think the majority of them came from who did we say? Carlton, Addie Carlton, and then Kennedy as well, and a few from Sturgeon and things. But Gideon is going to have to work with this block that Advance is throwing up, and I think that right now is Gideon's challenge, and no free balls over.
So Coach Ashenbrenner is starting a freshman this time around. Carly Ashenbrenner is in the lineup, number 13.
Also, number 3 is
Jalen
Ford. She's a sophomore. She was Gideon's JV libero.
Right.
So now she has changed uniforms, and she's going to be a DS for them.
So trying to shake things up a little bit. Coach Ashenbrenner knows that she's got those freshmen and sophomores. She's also got Kinley Martin, who we saw quite a bit in the game against Clarkton, who's a sophomore. So she's got some weapons that she has to kind of mix in because they've already played 2 sets tonight, and so she wants to make sure that she can play them as much as possible. Kennedy with a huge swing out of the middle. That was a perfect set and no block up. I mean, that ball was. I mean, he gave her the opportunity there to just swing away. Good try on defense back there.
That's right.
Again, Skinner back there, but that just was too much. Rogers very smart that time.
There we go.
She saw the block and she just tipped to the left of it and was able to get that ball down. Smart play that time by Rogers.
And we have Layla Watkins back in, freshman for Gideon. And like I said a while ago, Gideon's going to have to find points any way they can here. Hard hit or a hole.
Asherbrenner with the serve for Gideon. Hard swing that time by Kennedy from the right side, but hit it wide. So 2-1 now. Gideon has the lead. And we'll see if they can keep the momentum going. Carlton with the swing from the outside. Set to Watkins, and she mishit that ball. She's a freshman, and you hope she doesn't get down on herself.
No, she has a lot of power.
She's a really solid player and hits well, and we hope she doesn't get down on herself. That was a tough serve receive. That was a tough serve to try to receive that time from Gideon. There's Sturgeon with a little slide behind and put that ball right on the back corner.
That's right.
She couldn't have placed it much closer to that back corner.
The up official, Mr. Lawson, he called that ball fast.
Yep. So Kennedy back to serve for the Hornets. That was a nice pickup there by the libero Skinner, Michaela Skinner for Gideon. That ball was dropping quickly, and she was able to pick it up right off the floor, but Gideon just couldn't do anything with it. Good save there by Sharp.
And he called a lift.
And a lift on Eilers that time for Advance.
It was just a little bit behind her head.
Yep.
Just behind her head. So Hayti, I don't know why
They're
I
not
said
here.
Hayti. They are not here. I saw H Hornets. Hornets have come out just a little, making a few mistakes.
Sturgeon with a swing from the outside again. Free ball back over. Set to the outside to Eddie Carlton. And Carlton emphatically put that ball down. She's a senior leader for sure on this team and shows why she was All-State last year.
Lexi Fry's in for Gideon, number 2. She's a very talented senior that they go to a lot as well.
And Ava Bowling back in for the Advance Hornets. Kendall hit that time with the serve. Picked up, set to Carlton again. Tipped that time on the block, but found the floor. It's 6-3, the Hornets in the lead. Libero Brogan Hawkins back into the game. Hit with the serve, picked up by the libero Skinner. Big block that time on Mueller's hit.
But a good coverage.
Block. Absolutely. Good play. That ball almost hit the floor, but they were able to keep it up. So out of system. But Carlton swings away, but hits the antenna on her swing. So it's 6-4 now. Coach Hoffman is coaching on the sideline. She's got Kennedy over there, and she's explaining some things to her on the way she's hitting the ball right now. So Sturgeon with the tip that time. The ball was set way close to the net. She couldn't get a full swing on it. Ava Bowling with that swing that time. Two freshmen looked at each other and did not go after that ball. Well, and this is a pretty high-pressure situation to be put into as a freshman. So,
it could be intimidating a little bit.
It can be, absolutely. This gymnasium can be intimidating. If you just look around at all the state championship banners, it can be intimidating. Nice pickup there by Carlton. And the same way from the other side for Asherbrenner. They're getting on the floor after the ball. Ashburn are swinging out of the back row.
That's what they need.
There's Eilers. Well, that was a tough spot. That Fry was going for that ball. It was up. She was kind of that in-between receive, and that was a tough way to.
So Alexis Muller from Gideon here, number 12, she has a tough job right now. She's in the middle. She's up against bigger girls than her, and she's doing a great job right now.
Absolutely.
Trying to handle that and back and forth. She's also trying to cover the setter when the ball is tight. She's doing a very good job of that.
All right, well, there was some substitution.
Yes.
I guess they substituted before the referee told them they could substitute. So that's okay. They got it worked out. They were able to substitute, and that ball almost went into one of the goals that are pulled up there. So lots of obstructions at the ceiling level. This ceiling is not too high. I mean, there are some obstacles if you hit the ball too high in this gymnasium.
Oh, that was.
She received that really
Almost.
high.
Yeah.
Sturgeon just mishit that one. She had a really good opportunity there. Ashley Brenner got hit in the face with that ball, just comes back and swings. But Watkins up with a good block, but blocked it out of bounds.
And that was a kill from number 17, Ava Bowling, from Advance, left-handed hitter.
Yep. Got her swinging on that right side. Good place for a left-handed hitter to be. Tough receive that time. The setter was struggling because that ball was in the net.
So Advance does have one or two good servers, and I think that might be what Gideon might see in the area where we live, one or two good servers per team. They have several good servers.
They do.
We have seen, and
I think they have several
difficult.
servers that are sitting on the bench that aren't even in the game. Because everyone that comes in can serve.
That's right. Nice cut. Nice pickup from our freshman.
Watkins with a good swing, but again, the block is there. I mean, she's certainly not used to seeing the kind of block that she's up against tonight.
There it was. Nice
Eilers
spot.
with an amazing play that time. You know, that's why Eilers is all state. I mean, she can hit, but she's a solid all-around player. She's there to cover the block. And then Sturgeon with the swing, picked up by Skinner. Free ball back over. Let's see if the Hornets can capitalize, and they cannot.
So Eilers hit that one in the net. It's a good momentum change here for Gideon. That was a good, hard rally, and one of the first rallies that Gideon has won with the long rallies. We got number 20, Layla Watkins, back here as a freshman serving. Nice serve. Yep.
And it worked.
She did her job.
She did, absolutely.
Some poor miscommunication. And Coach Hoffman said, hey, let's go. Got 2 claps out of it. I love it.
So Mallory Mayberry's back in setting for Advance, the sophomore. Now, Coach Hoffman's not afraid to let some younger girls set for him. She's done that in the past. And that was a good hit that time. You're talking about Muller, and she put that ball in the spot where nobody could get to it. And hit it hard.
And hit it, yes. It's one of the first ones we've had from her from the middle today.
Right.
That's
what Watkins back to serve again. Her third serve here in this stretch. Set to the right side that time to Sturgeon, and she looked like she was just mad at that ball.
She looked angry.
She did.
We got one of the Ford girls is going in, or Layla Watkins in the back.
Right.
For Gideon.
Little bump set by Sharp. Nice block that time. Little tip by Eilers there. Ashley Brenner swinging out. They were out of system, but she put a good hit on it. Just hit it long.
And Muller's, that is for Gideon, that is the second or third time she's hit. They blocked, and she has just passed her own. She covered herself. It's almost like done really well.
Set to Muller again. This time she swings over the block and gets it in.
It's in.
I'm not sure that's where she was going with it, but it worked very well. I think she mishit it a little bit, but it worked out
So
much better than it would have if she'd hit right into the block.
for Gideon to stay in this game, they've got just to find a way to put it down, whether it's that line shot, a tip, anything. Nice serve. Makes it difficult. There it is.
Yep.
Exactly what they're going to need, point by point here. And a while ago when I mentioned one of the Ford girls, there's 2 Ford girls. They are identical twins.
Right, I know.
Oh, I can't tell them apart, but they are, and they both play on JV. Very good
Right.
players.
Muller with another strong serve. Kennedy with the swing from the outside. Rogers over the block that time. Nice hit. And the fact that the block did not get a touch on it made it very difficult for Hawkins to pick it up in the back row.
So we have hit back in for the setter.
Yep. Muller back to serve for Gideon. Kennedy could not reach that one. The set was a little way too close to the net.
Way too close.
She thought she could reach and tip it, but she just couldn't reach it.
I'm telling you,
She obviously was trying to stay out of the net.
with Muller serving back here, Gideon, if they keep this up, Gideon can come back here.
Yep.
And they both got both big girls out here in the back row. Nice pass.
Kennedy with a good swing, picked up nicely. There's Ford, who plays libero on the JV. She's a solid back row defensive player. And she's not intimidated by that big swing of Kennedy there, because it was a big swing. So 14-11 now, the Hornets with the lead. Massa back to serve for the Hornets. Outside to Rogers. Good coverage that time by Carlton. So it was a good idea, and remember that's what we talked about earlier, that Advance always does is put a hit on the ball, and it's not an easy thing to do always.
Right.
You know, she was out of position, she tried to hit it over, and she hit it into the net. So, you know, the fact that they do that on pretty much every third hit is even more impressive. And the same thing there, she got it over the net but hit it long. So.
And it's harder than it looks, because you train for that ball to be perfect and
right where you want it.
Pass it, hit, and now it's not, and now we got to adjust, and making those adjustments sometimes are difficult.
Absolutely. And that takes a lot of playing experience, not just practice, but a lot of playing experience. Good try by Hawkins in the back row there.
I think that one was going out.
It may have been.
But Abby Manning.
I've always said I'd much rather they hit one that might be out than let one drop in the back row and right inside the line. So Aubrey Sharp back to serve for the Bulldogs. Eilers that time with the swing. Here's almost. That was Abby Manning up trying with that single block, and she got her hands on it, but she just didn't penetrate the net enough, and the ball dropped on her side.
And she's another sophomore coming up.
Right.
Looks good.
I mean, the future looks good. We talked about the fact that Gideon was able to pretty well dominate the junior varsity matches tonight, and they're got some solid players coming up over the next couple years. They're already here. They're playing right now on varsity too. So. Carlton off the block. They put up 2 that time, but she hit it off the block and out of bounds. 19-12 now.
And they need that. That ball would have hit right line, but I'm glad to see it. I'm really glad to see it.
I mean, that's what they've got to do. You can't block these advanced hitters with one blocker. So free ball back over by Fry. Let's see what Advance can do with it. Set to Carlton.
4.
And coach says, Sammy Lawson says that ball didn't clear the net. So 4 hits. Can't do that. Watkins back in for Ford. Asherbrenner back in for Fry. And back to serve, the freshman Asherbrenner. Picked up by Hawkins. Set was a pass was a little close to the net, so hit, tried to. That's one of those where you love it, the aggressiveness, but might have been better off if she hadn't got a finger on that ball.
Sometimes you don't reach back.
Right. Because the libero was right there to pick that ball up, and once it hit Eiler's hand, she couldn't get to it.
They got a little cushion here.
Asher Brenner with nice pass that time, right where the setter needed it. A little slide, and Kennedy landed awkwardly against the referee standard. Looks like she's okay. But
I know she kind of twisted her or something.
Yeah,
maybe.
She was definitely gingerly getting up. Coach will call timeout, make sure she's okay.
Yeah.
We've had several matches with these Advance Hornets over the last 3 years that we've been doing high school volleyball, and that's one of the rare timeouts that you'll see Coach Hoffman actually call. She doesn't call timeouts generally in the regular season, even if they're behind. She'll let them kind of play it out, see, have a little adversity. But she wanted to make sure that, Kennedy's one of her stars. She wanted to make sure she's really okay and not just try to tough it out back there, give her a bit of a rest, and make sure her ankle's okay. So, well, we've got a lot of action still to come this week. We have one more volleyball match on Thursday night. We'll be in Sykeston for Scott City at Sykeston. Join Jim Riker and Coach Carl Ritter for that game. And then Friday night, a big football game between the Southern Boone Eagles from Ashland, Missouri, up by Columbia, are going to be traveling to Dexter to take on the Dexter Bearcats in a big Class 3 matchup. So we're looking forward to that. Hope you're able to join us. That first serve was an ace by Kennedy. Looks like her ankle or leg or whatever is okay.
She's good.
Free ball back over. Nice pass by Hawkins. Back row to Kennedy, set to the back row to Kennedy again. There's Ashburner swinging out of the back row for Gideon. Good pickup there by Fry. That time it didn't clear the net, so that's 4 hits.
Right. Very good call. Gideon has started, I don't know if she's kind of moved people in and out, and she has quite a bit, but she's really has found this is, I think, working right now for them.
Much better than their first set did, for sure. Hit with the set to Sturgeon. That ball rolled right down the net, right along the tape, and fell on the Gideon side. Not much you can do about that, unfortunately. Just be ready to cover it.
Those are 50-50.
Absolutely. You didn't know which way it was going to fall. Hit back to serve at 22-15 for the Advance Hornets.
And Ava Bowling back in to play front row.
Nice movement on that ball. I don't think Alexis Fry expected that ball to drop quite the way it did.
There again, Advance with another girl that serves very well, very hard.
Absolutely. Deep serve that time, but it was going to be in. Layla Watkins swinging out of the middle. Nice play. Almost reacted too quickly. The ball was still in play, but nice job out of the middle that time.
That was good. I like to see her how she stayed up there and fought with her ball.
And I like the fact that she got a little frustrated there early in this set, after the first set, and then a little bit in this one too. And it's good to see that she's back out there swinging away. I mean, you got to have a short memory.
And she's playing middle right now too.
As Ted Lasso says, be a goldfish. They only have a 2-second memory. So, Eddie Carlton, All-Stater, back to swing, back to serve. Picked up by Asha Brenner. Free ball back over for Advance to see what they could do. Sturgeon out of the middle. Layla Watkins, the freshman, with a big block that time.
Yes.
Big solo block, but now she's on the back row. So we'll see if Asha Brenner and Muller can make up the difference now that Watkins is in the back row. Set to the outside to Eilers. Nice receive that time. Set to Asha Brenner. She sets it back over. Bump set to the back row to Carlton. And nobody able to get to it. So there's set number 2. 25-17 is the final score this time. 3 points better than the first set, so we'll see what Gideon can do and Advance can do in set number 3. We'll be back in 30 seconds or a minute. Welcome back to the Hornets' Nest in Advance, Missouri. We're so glad to have you joining us tonight. Recapping tonight's match, the Gideon Bulldogs here playing against the Advance Hornets. Advance has won the first 2 sets, 25-14, 25-17. They've really played well. They had a little bit of a stretch there in set number 2 where Advance seemed to be a little bit out of sorts. But they got themselves re-righted, got themselves back on track, and were able to pull out the win. So, Coach, what do you see? I know you were impressed with the way Gideon played that second set. What are you looking for from this set number 3?
I like the adjustments that Coach Ashburner made. I think they were solid adjustments, especially those that she had to make against this team to try to stop that hit that's coming over so much harder, and some defensive changes. Serve-receive changing, and just some smart things that she has done. Her players have stepped up, not sending as many free balls over that were things that were needing to be done to make it more difficult, and it showed. It made it a little more challenging for Advance. Right. And I'm anxious to see this game. And they now the freshmen have calmed down, it looks like, and some of the JV players, and are playing now, or are relaxed a little bit maybe.
So so Coach Ashburner now has Kinley Martin, a sophomore, into the starting rotation this time. You mentioned her earlier. So one of the things we saw on last week in the Dexter Bernie match was Dexter won the first 2 sets pretty handily, and then they lost focus in set number 3. That's easy to do when you get up big and you win 2 sets. It's easy to come out and not have focus. So I think that's one of the things that we're going to watch this Advance team and see if they can maintain their focus.
And Martin right now is running the setting position.
Big swing by Kennedy, picked up nicely by Ford. She's a good little defensive player for sure. There's Eilers with the hit. That ball did come over and was tipped by Fry.
Again, mass pass.
I'll tell you what, they've got at least three players for Advance that are very effective out of the back row, hitting the ball out of the back row.
Yes.
And Carlton and Kennedy both, and then Eilers on occasion. But Carlton and Kennedy swing away in the back row just as easily as they swing in the front row. For most teams, that's not necessarily a part of their offense.
That's right.
But for these teams, it is. This team, it is. Set to the outside to Carlton, and down the line and in, right in that back corner.
And Martin will have to learn to scoot over and be there right now, because that's where that ball is coming.
That's where she wants to hit it. If the block's not up, that's where she's going to hit it every single time. Ashburner taking control out there and getting that ball back over. Kennedy with a quick swing, quick set out of the middle, and put that ball down.
So Gideon will have to slow that down. Gideon will have to figure out something to not send a free ball over.
Against
that's the last 2 times that's the last 2 kills. It's been because of free balls, and Advance is just being smart using those.
Well, and they know, if a ball comes over easy, they know what to do with it. They know how to pass it, they know how to set it, and they know how to hit it. And so, even free balls like that one are tough balls.
And that was a good read on Gideon's libero, number 5, Haley Skinner.
Yep. So Eiler's back to serve for the Advance Hornets. Skinner, that pass is a little close to the net. And then no communication between those two that time. So Martin's coming out and Sharp back in. Coach Asherbrenner freely substituting in this set so far. Carlton with the swing. Again, there's, we talk about a little bit about misdirection. When the blocker for Gideon was not exactly sure who was going to get that set. And you got two solid hitters in the front row right now, and it's tough to know where that ball's going.
So just now when the free ball came over, I don't know if anybody else watched it, but rewind it and watch Brogan Hawkins in the back row. When the free ball came over and it wasn't her, she was jumping up and down saying, let's go, let's go.
Yep.
She knew something special was about to happen.
And she was right. She knows that they can handle that ball when it comes back over like that. That's really close to the net. Nice play by Sharp.
Sharp, yes. That's all she could do, but that was smart.
Yep. She got it where she wanted it, too. It was successful. So Watkins back in for Ford. Muller back to serve for the Gideon Bulldogs.
Nice drop
nice
spin.
Serve. Yep, absolutely. Had a lot of top spin on that ball. Off the block and out of bounds. Lexi Fry up with the block, and Carlton used her block that time. Hit it out off her block. Kennedy back to serve for the Advance Hornets.
And Sturgeon is in the front row. Another still strong middle.
Watkins with the swing from the outside. Hit a little bit long. I mean, that was a good approach and good swing. She just got under it a little bit, sailed it long. Kennedy back to serve again. I thought her toss was bad that time. Looked like it was over her head a little bit, but she put it right where she wanted it. She cut that ball a little extra. I think maybe she put it there where she wanted it. Or she was able to adjust nicely, one or the other. And that's in too. Wow.
Corner. She makes it look nice. She makes it look easy.
She makes it look easy, and that's not easy at all.
It is not.
Because she's playing with that back line, and I mean Gideon is pushed way back now because they've done that. I was going to say she may drop one short here. Nice smart play that time by the freshman Layla Watkins. Tipped
nice
that
pass.
off. She did. It was, and then tipped it off the block and out of bounds. She definitely used the block that time.
A lot of times it's hard to pass the ball and then get out to hit it.
Right.
And
yeah, good recovery. She's pretty quick. She moves well.
She moved very well. Yes.
Not all freshmen. A lot of freshmen are a little awkward at times, but she really moves well. She's very athletic. I watched her in warm-ups earlier, and she's an athletic player. Sturgeon with the swing. Sturgeon's not happy with herself right now. Watkins is asking for a touch, but no one saw a touch.
And now she's going to play middle. She knew there was a touch. I don't know, maybe not. You never know.
Well, I know
she had a close look at it too, though.
I know there was. She may have heard it.
Heard it.
Muller swinging out of the back row that time. Set to Kennedy, and Kennedy puts it down. This is her set.
It is.
She's been dominant this set. Yes. We mentioned the tip on that ball. Layla Watkins got a shout out from a local teacher in one of the local schools at Richland because she actually tipped the ball and the referees didn't see it, and she walked up to the referee and admitted that she tipped it, and it should be a point for Richland. And so that teacher was very impressed with her, honesty, and commended her for that.
Very, very commended on her.
Absolutely.
Carlton just hit one as hard as I've seen her hit it tonight.
She's just pounding the ball. I tell you what, Advance is they're loose right now. They're feeling it. They have not had that drop in focus that I mentioned that could happen after you win a couple of sets easily. They've maintained that focus and actually maybe pushed down on the accelerator a little bit here in set number 3. It's 15-3 right now.
And that was, middle has a hard time sometimes finally getting out of the way.
Yeah.
Setter and middle collide a lot in high school. It's kind of part of it, but.
So Michaela Skinner back in to serve for the Gideon Bulldogs. You know, Coach Asherbrenner calls most every serve for her players where she wants the ball to be served. Not every coach does that,
Nope.
but she does. And I was kind of watching that in the junior varsity set earlier, and I wasn't sure that a couple of the junior varsity players weren't kind of giving away where they were going to serve it by where they moved in the back row. So you've got to be really careful with that when you're calling it as they're setting up back there. You move to the left side, maybe you're going to hit it to the left side, so you have to be real careful with that. Good hustle, but that's 4 hits. Good hustle by hit that time, but
and I haven't seen if Coach Hoffman calls it or if
I haven't seen Coach Hoffman call it.
And a lot of times some girls just know. They can sense it and they just know.
Right. And swing and long on Sturgeon.
Ball was above her head, hit off the side of her hand as well.
So Abby Manning back to serve again for the Bulldogs, down 16-6 right now here in set number 3. With this best 3 out of 5. Eilers with ball was off the net, and she didn't quite get to it. She jumps well, but not that well.
So Brogan Hawkins is Advance's libero, and she has, to me, really served received well today.
She has.
And done well with that.
Well, I mentioned that the Hornets had not had that lapse in focus, but right now, the last about 3 points, it seems like they've been a little bit off. So let's see if they can pull that, if they can right the ship here a little bit.
Yep.
And this is not their best hitting rotation, so this is probably their, of their rotations, it's their weakest probably.
Yes.
A little out of control, but they were able to get it back over. And then hit out
and tight
into the net.
With Advance, you cannot set that ball tight on that net because of the height disadvantage or anything like that. I think Advance puts up a stronger front. Tight, everything's going to be tipped for Gideon.
Skinner with a really nice serve receive that time. Nice receive by Hawkins again. She started that off nicely. It was a really good pass, and they were able to handle. They knew what to do with it once that setter hit knows what to do with the ball when she gets a good pass.
And Muller's been very consistent out there for Gideon, keeping the ball in aggressively. Just hasn't been able to get as many kills as she needs.
Right.
Good save for Advance, and to get something out of that.
Right.
Last minute
block. That was
block.
a big block that time by Bowling and Kennedy.
So the score 19-8 for Gideon, and Gideon is having a hard time putting the ball down. Second set, Gideon had twice, 2 or 3 more times the kills as they had in the previous sets, and it showed in the score.
So Hawkins missed that set, but it's one of the few things that have not gone well for her tonight. She's played a really good game.
So now we have the other forward, Leanne, coming in.
Kennedy hit that ball. That ball was set pretty nicely. She just mistimed it and tipped it off her fingers.
And some of this is also being still a sophomore. Being young, as inexperienced. I'm so looking forward to seeing these girls by the time they get to be juniors and seniors.
Yeah,
another year.
Make.
Yes.
They'll lose Addie Carlton, who's a huge part of their team right now. And again, this season's not over. This is
No.
they're going to be, by the time district tournament rolls around, this is going to be a team that will go a long ways into the state playoffs. There's no doubt in my mind. And I wouldn't put it past them to look up and see them playing for the state championship.
I wouldn't either.
Because Coach Hoffman is not – right now she's not satisfied. They're playing really well. It's 20-10 in set number 3, but she's not satisfied with their effort and everything. She's always teaching, always trying to get them where they need to be for the championship run.
Right.
You know, that's what she's playing for right now. She's not playing for this match. She's playing for the,
More.
10 matches down the road. Moeller with the swing out of the middle, and there's Kennedy again. Kennedy's just is a very athletic young lady. She's a solid player, fun to watch. Massa back to serve again for Advance.
I think Advance has used everybody today out
think
there.
so.
22 is in.
Yeah, because Rainey Garland is in the game now.
Yes.
Good try.
Good try. Just some. I think there's some girls that typically don't play maybe beside each other as much now.
Yeah, I
it's
think
fine.
That's accurate. So Sharp back to serve for the Bulldogs. Bailey saved that ball, got it back, and then they got it back over. Good job by the Hornets. Hit that time with the block. And then Muller just keeps coming.
Yes.
Rogers and Muller in the front row there, they just keep coming and keep swinging. You got to give them credit for that because it is 21-12 in the third set in this best 3 out of 5.
They're
so
still fighting.
They could easily just easily just throw in the towel, and they're not doing that. They're still swinging away. Bump set to the outside to Muller. Good pickup there by Bailey in the back row. Garland with the hit over. And down. Coach Hoffman isn't very boisterous on the sideline. She's pretty quiet. She's pretty quiet in her timeouts. But when we interviewed them a couple years ago after their state championship run in 22, the girls know what her looks mean. They know when she's not happy. They know when she's irritated. They did tell us that when she's smiling on the sideline, that usually means they've done something really bad, and that they're probably going to be in for it at some point. Eilers with a good serve that time.
I got to coach with Coach Hoffman when I was at Holcomb in 2005 on some neat little all-star coaching things.
Yep.
And she was a woman of few words there too. I've known her ever since. I walked in here. She goes, "What are you doing here?"
And you'd already talked to her about coming to that.
About coming.
Yeah, I remember, I guess, 2 years ago when we were up here. Good swing there again by Carlton. Muller with a good hit. Set to the outside to Carlton again.
Gideon,
that was behind the antenna.
And Gideon had a good run there, returning everything, especially with this young group back here.
Right. So Eilers back to serve again for the Advance Hornets. Muller continuing to swing away. Free ball back over that time from Advance. Muller with the hit back over. Kennedy in the middle.
Ooh.
Maybe a lift, but it's late in the game.
It was late. Sammy smiled. He smiled like, I think I know.
It was probably, and that maybe
and
not
that should have been
that
four.
might have been
and
4 hits, but we're going to keep playing.
We're going to keep playing.
There's Muller with a solid swing, and that's going to count. Gideon with the point there. 23-14 now. Muller is back to serve for the Bulldogs.
So a while ago, the Ford twins were back there, and I always had a rule I could never play sisters side by side for some reason, but maybe we can on twins. I don't know. I could never play sisters side by side.
Maybe they communicate differently because they're twins.
They must. Awesome serve right now.
Absolutely. They were sharp with the serve.
I never could play by my sisters.
Yeah, that's probably true. And you still probably couldn't.
I still probably couldn't.
Muller with a strong serve again.
Way to play tight on that net. That's it. Gideon's not giving up, and I love it.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Keep playing. So
Advance has put their libero back in.
Yeah, probably a smart move for that serve
Yes.
receive. I mean, Muller's swinging away and hitting that ball to the back row. And then she hits it into the net.
And then you jinxed her.
I guess I did. I'm sorry about that.
That's her first one. She's missed all night.
Because I said that. So substitution here for Advance. Yes, match point. So we're Kennedy back to serve. Just tipped it right off the top of the net and down. So 25-16 in set number 3. So Advance wins wins 3 sets. 3 out of 5 is what we play, and they win the first 3. So no extra volleyball tonight for us. So, Coach, what did you see from these two teams, and what do they each need to do as the playoffs get closer?
Playoffs get closer. Advance will still continue to do what Advance does. Like I said, they're going to still continue to hit that third ball over. They're going to be aiming toward the line and double blocking and things like that. They had just some simple mistakes on things like that. Gideon to win their district and then possibly meet them. Would they meet them this year or not? I can't remember.
They would meet them in the sectionals, quarterfinals.
Gideon's going to find a way to get that ball down and find some more places to have some more kills, and receive some harder serves.
So the Hornets have a tough game coming up on Wednesday night. It looks like they travel to St. Vincent. And St. Vincent is one of the 3 teams that have beaten them this year. They beat them in the Dig for Life tournament. And then we're going to have them here again against Dexter on the 1st of October. That should be a really good one.
And that will be a great game. I'm excited.
I mean, those are the 2 best teams in Stoddard County for sure, and maybe the 2 best teams south of Cape Girardeau County.
Yes.
Right now you've got both Jackson and Cape playing really well, but down here, I mean, those are probably the 2 best teams.
Yes.
So it'll be fun to watch. We'll be back up here for that. I think that's you along with Jim Riker that night. Gideon, on the other hand, their schedule, they have the Gideon Invitational this weekend, which is always a fun event. It's Friday night and Saturday. If you want to see some quality volleyball, especially small school volleyball, go to Gideon this weekend, Friday night and Saturday, and watch some quality volleyball.
And like I said, they got some different teams in it this year. It is Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Okay.
They've got Eminence. They've got Winona coming, and some different schools like that we typically do not see coming to Gideon, and I think will bring some good quality volleyball.
Good. Well, that's exciting. Look forward to it. Look forward to hopefully you all can get out and see some of that action this weekend. We will be back on Thursday evening. It'll actually be, neither one of us will be there, but Coach Carl Ritter will be alongside our professional play-by-play announcer, Jim Riker. You know him from our basketball and football broadcast, and he's thrilled to be able to do some volleyball for us as well. So we look forward to hearing all the action from them on Thursday evening. So for Coach Gentry Vansel, all our crew, we appreciate you tuning in from Advance High School. We're Aycorp Sports bringing you another great match of high school volleyball. So we will see you on Thursday evening. Thanks for joining.